Did these prejudices prevail only among the meanest and lowest of the people? Perhaps they might be excused, as they have few, if any, opportunities of correcting them by reading, traveling, or conversing with foreigners. But the misfortune is that they infect the minds and influence the conduct even of our gentlemen, of those I mean who have very title of this appellation but an exemption from prejudice. Here Goldsmith says that these prejudices, if these prejudices are present among the poor people or among the uneducated people, among the meanest and lowest people, perhaps they might be excused. So then we can excuse those people. The reason of excusing them is that they are not getting much opportunities of correcting them by reading or by traveling or by talking with foreigners. But our misfortune is that this that these prejudices are infecting the minds or behavior of our gentlemen. Gentlemen, here he says that the person who have every title to this appellation, who is having all the qualities of gentleman, but one quality that should be present in a gentleman, that is, he must be exempted from prejudice. That is not present in these gentlemen, which, however, in my opinion, ought to be regarded as the characteristical mark of a gentleman. And according to Goldsmith, this is the most important quality that should be present in a gentleman, that he must be free from any kind of prejudice. For let a man's birth be ever so high, his station ever so exalted, or his fortune ever so large, yet if he is not free from national or any other kind of prejudice, I should make bold to tell him that he had a low and vulgar mind, and had no just claim to be character of a gentleman. If a person is having high position, he is having lot of money, he is very educated, but if that person is not free from any kind of prejudice, then Goldsmith says that I am bold to tell him that he is having a low mind, he is having a vulgar mind, and he has no right to call himself as a gentleman. And in fact, you will always find that those are most apt to boast of national merit who have little or no merit of their own to depend on. Then, which to be sure nothing is more natural, the slender vine twists around the sturdy oak for no other reason in the world but because it has not strength sufficient to support itself. Here, Goldsmith has presented his views by giving an example, by giving an illustration, or we can call it a simile also. He says that a person who is not having his own merits, he depends on the merit of his nation. He talks about his nation. In the same way as a thin or slender vine twists around the sturdy oak, for the reason because it is not having strength sufficient to support itself. एक जो पतली सी बेल होती है वो अपने आप को संभाल नहीं पाती, तो उसे सहारा चाहिए होता है एक तने का, ओक के पेड़ के सहारे वो ऊपर चढ़ती है। बिल्कुल उसी तरह से ऐसे व्यक्ति जिनमें खुद में कोई गुण नहीं होते, दे टॉक अबाउट नेशनल मेरिट्स। Should it be alleged in defense of national prejudice that it is the natural and necessary growth of love to our country, and that therefore the former cannot be destroyed without hurting the latter? I answer, if it is said in the defense of national prejudice कि अगर राष्ट्रीय पूर्वाग्रह के पक्ष में ये बात कही जाए that it is the natural and necessary growth for patriotism, for the love of our country, and therefore the former cannot be destroyed without hurting the other. And it is said that former national prejudice cannot be destroyed without hurting the love to our country. Then writer says that he answers that this is a gross fallacy and delusion. ये एक तरह का भ्रम है. It is a big mistake. That it is the growth of love to our country, I will allow. If you say that national prejudice is the growth of love to our country, then he allows. But that it is the natural and necessary growth of it, I absolutely deny. Here he says that it is not necessary for the growth of love to our country. He says superstition and enthusiasm too are the growth of religion. Superstition and enthusiasm are related with the growth of religion. But whoever took it in his head to affirm that they are the necessary growth of this noble principle, that superstition and enthusiasm are necessary for the growth of religion, then they are, if you will, the bastard sprouts of this heavenly plant. They are not necessary branches. Superstition and enthusiasm are not necessary branches of this heavenly plant, namely religion, but not its natural and genuine branches. They can be cut off and may safely enough be lopped off without doing any harm to the parent stock. Here Goldsmith has used metaphorical language. Nay, perhaps till once they are lopped off, this goodly tree, religion, will be flourish in perfect health and vigor. Until unless they will present and religion, superstition will remain present in religion, it will not flourish with perfect health and vigor. Is it not very possible that I may love my own country without hating the natives of other countries? He is asking a question to himself, that is it not very possible that I may love my own country without hating the people of other countries, that I may exert the most heroic bravery, the most undaunted resolution in defending its law and liberty without despising all the rest of the world as cowards and poltroons. He says that the people who are criticizing the natives of other countries, they are coward. He wants to defend the laws and liberty without hating the rest of the world. Most certainly it is, and if it were not, but why need I suppose what is absolutely impossible? But if it were not, I must own, I should prefer the title of the ancient philosopher, namely a citizen of the world, of that of an Englishman, a Frenchman, a European, or to any other appellation whatever. So here Goldsmith says that is it possible for all of us to love our country without hating the natives of other country? And if it is not possible, he talks about himself, that he should prefer the title of ancient philosopher, that he should prefer the title of a citizen of the world than any other title, whether it is Englishman, Frenchman, or European, or any other title, whatever. He does not prefer any other title, he prefers the title of a citizen of the world. Thank you.